What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I want to do a bit of a follow-up yesterday, as now we've received some updates from local law enforcement, as well as several comments from Riley Gaines, her lawyer, and those who represent her. If you weren't following yesterday, you saw a speaking event at a San Francisco university basically descend into absolute madness, a situation where she had been barricaded in an office. People were demanding money, all sorts of wild stuff like that. And we're going to take a look at the event, and we're going to be happy. YouTube's not going to be happy with this video, but I'm really happy I have a sponsor for it. So check this out. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor. Wait. You might think I was going to say one thing, but I'm actually going to say Hyper Fever. Check this out.
Head Game Maker Crate Play invites you to play Hyper Fever. Critics call it the most mobile of all mobile games. Build a unique character from our preset warlords in the only real-time card strategy MMO that lets you play offline online. GameHub hails it the best FPS city builder we've ever played. Relax with bubble-popping match-3 roleplay as you engage in casual hardcore battle royale. Go multiplayer AR to let friends find objects you've lost at home to level up your troops in combat. Hundreds of gamers already admit it. Hyper Fever has it all.
Wow, I know, Hyper Fever feels simply too good to be true. Well, it isn't true. It's fake. This is actually a Raid Shadow Legends ad. Of course. Raid continues to get bigger and better with one of its most requested features, live arena PvP. Raid's letting you duke it out against other players live, picking and banning champions before dueling to determine the ultimate warrior. It's not just prestige you're fighting for, though. Live Arena is bringing in some awesome rewards, too. I'm talking new artifact sets, fragrance for legendary Void Champion, a special Live Arena crest that unlocks powerful new bonuses at the Great Hall, and so much more. For all you Amazon Prime members out there, don't miss out on your final drop to help power up your champions. And by April 9th, all new and existing players can use promo code 4YearsRaid. That's number 4YearsRaid. To get some awesome rewards. With all this exciting stuff coming to Raid, if you haven't started playing yet, what are you waiting for? New players may use my link or scan the QR code and get a free starter pack with this cool in-game loot. Once you're in and you're crushing enemies, come find me under the name Colt's Dad. Join my clan, we're thriving, and we'll be legends together. So hit my link in the description and I'll see you on the battlefield. Now I want to start with this agent, Riley Gaines' agent, demands expulsion of San Francisco State students involved in the situation, as well as any staff who did not attempt to end the incident should be fired as well. I actually 100% agree with that. A lot of, what we've seen over the years is a lot of these lunatic professors like to use their students as, well, useful idiots, living through them. Getting them all riled up. Remember that one, was that at Missouri State University? There was that teacher who was like trying to get people to physically remove a reporter. I think that was during the BLM stuff, or I can't remember. There's so many college uprisings these days, it's hard to keep them straight. Where Agent Eli Bremer now is calling for the university to take a stand. Now, I want to be very clear, as of right now, San Francisco police have made 0 arrests. I'm sure you're shocked to hear that. On top of that, I mean, San Francisco is a literal war zone right now. You've got strung out zombies in the streets, all hopped up on, the various pills and all sorts of stuff that people are enjoying there now. You've got, the creator of Cash App, lying in the street begging for help. People just drove by as he passed away. Former fire chief yesterday, someone went after with a crowbar, I think. It's crazy. You couldn't pay me to go to San Francisco. Riley Gaines also, of course, shared the video. Several videos posted to social media appeared to show the crowd shouting expletives at Gaines, also chanting, "Trans rights are human rights." Again, to ask a very simple question, exactly what rights do trans people not have? This is a question that will, if somebody asks that, if somebody's chanting that, and you want to watch their head like literally explode, just ask them what rights trans people don't have that everyone else has. There is no answer to that, and it's always a fun experiment. In an exclusive statement of Fox News Digital, though, Bremer called for the university to expel any students who raised their hands and fire any staff member who did not attempt to end it. Now, the question is, were these people even students? A lot of people who come to these events are like outside agitators. And, it's a difficult thing to police when you have district attorneys that don't want to charge anybody with anything because they agree. That's the only real takeaway that you can have here, right? These district attorneys must agree with this behavior. Otherwise, what are they even doing? Several videos. So also Riley Gaines is, quote, Riley Gaines is the leading defender of women's rights in America, was assaulted last night in San Francisco State University. The mob effectively held her hostage for 3 hours with no apparent action by the university to end it. These type of things and threats against women are always wrong, and we demand, really against anybody, SFSU expel any student who did this. Furthermore, we demand that any staff who were present did not attempt to stop it also be fired. Bremer also noted that Gaines was, quote, evaluating legal options as a result, which we're going to get into it here because that's exactly what she has to do. She has to sue San Francisco State University for not properly protecting her. There is video of the event where you have staff on the scene that was doing nothing to protect her, nothing to de-escalate the situation. I think that you put a $15 million lawsuit on their lap and, they start to wonder about protecting these $45,000 a year adjunct professors that are whipping these students up into this fever. There's absolutely nothing wrong, with protesting peacefully. And, let's be honest, these events are held where they're being held to create maximum noise, maximum, like clips like this is like, obviously nobody wants Riley to be, her safety be at harm here, but you're going into the wolf's den. That there's going to be lunatic protesters out there. It creates a situation where you can get more eyeballs on your issue or on whatever's important to you. Now, nobody wants anything bad to happen to Riley Gaines. I don't think that's what, I'm not implying that's what they wanted. I'm just saying there's a reason that like the Daily Wire speaking to her always makes sure to go to a lot of really progressive cities because they know it's maximum chaos and that's just good press. Now, you don't want anybody getting hurt. These people are entitled to be soy infused and protest, but they are not entitled to, demand money for her release, which again, now I have a clip of, which I'll share because, I normally don't share these clips because YouTube doesn't like it, but since we have a sponsor, I can.
And what we're hoping to do is to keep things peaceful and
make her lose her flight
and move forward. Okay. Tell her to pay us. Tell her to pay us, and then she could go.
Tell her to pay us. Tell her to pay us, and then we'll let her go. That's actual kidnapping. It's a federal crime.
$10 each. Because you probably got paid for this shit, so we can.
And by the way, I don't know if there's a university police officer here. There looks to be two law enforcement officers. I don't know if they're San Francisco PD or if they're campus PD, but absolute cowards. What you do in this scenario is you push all of these loser, soy-infused, rich, spoiled brats out the door. And anybody that doesn't leave gets arrested. This is no longer a peaceful protest. They are holding someone against their will. They are creating a situation that is unsafe. It's kidnapping. By the way, here's the dean of students, Pam Sue. This is somebody that should probably be fired. You know, I mean, I think that there needs to be charges on these people. You don't get to hold somebody against their will. Then when you know, you could say, all right, well, you know, maybe he's joking. You know, they didn't make a formal demand of money. Okay, fine. But certainly they were holding her against her will and wouldn't let her leave, right? And then it gets even better because Riley went on, I'm not exactly sure, this looks to be on Fox, that she is pursuing legal action over the protesters ambushing and terrorizing her over her views. I 100% agree with that. Again, this is one of the areas on the right that I think they fail at. And I understand why people feel this way. I've talked about it before. People think, oh, because the DA is not going to prosecute, I'm just not even going to bother. Well, I understand feeling that way, but this is a civil matter now. You don't have to worry about a DA going forward. You can flex on this university. You can press. You can figure out the identities of the people that were holding you hostage, and you can sue them for emotional distress. You can sue them. Bury these people in lawsuits up to their eyeballs. You know why? A lot of these rich entitled brats that are doing this, the second their parents get served with a lawsuit, things are going to start to change. We saw this every time. Remember Evergreen College? Remember Evergreen College years ago, where the students like literally took over the dean's office or whatever the case was for many days? Their attendance never recovered. Missouri State, where they had all the big protests, they had to shut down entire dormitories because people didn't want to send their students there anymore. This is exactly what the right has to do. They need a team of lawyers that is willing to, you know, Riley Gaines gets to go through her speaking, and behind her is a wake of soy-infused losers getting buried in debt for life. And that university that allowed it to happen and didn't protect her, they get buried in debt. And that is the only way you're going to start getting this stuff to stop. I have 100% support the people there who want to yell trans rights are human rights and protest. They can be there, but they can't put their hands on her, and they cannot keep her held hostage for hours on end. That's not how it works. And the cops that are enabling this and DAs that don't, you should be suing them too. I wonder if there's any personal, you know, DAs, you know, all these DAs are like, there was another story today in the Post. Criminal let go on no charges and went home and extinguished the life of an infant like a few weeks later. Like, why aren't these DAs who are making these judgment calls on all these people, why aren't they having, you know, there should be some personal liability there, don't you think? Maybe they'd actually be thinking about some of these decisions that they're making. Alvin Bragg, for example, you know? People have to start fighting back. Even if you don't think you're going to win, you file the motions. You make these kids have to go to court. You make their parents have to show up in court. You make the university have to show up in court. There has to be a penalty for this. And if you don't start doing it this way, people are going to start handling it their own ways, which I don't think anybody wants. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.